Hello, Mr Sykes here again. I hope that you're all well. Thank you to all those people who sent in pictures of Hardlock House from It's Too Frightening for Me. It was great to see your interpretations of what the house looked like. Now, Mr Atkinson will put some of these into the film for us all to see. The last pictures are from the book itself, and they are the work of Shirley Hughes, who was the author and illustrator of the book. So, let's enjoy. Weren't those pictures great? Now, just because I can, I've got some more literacy jokes for you. What vegetables do librarians like? Quiet peas. Quiet peas. Do you get it? Okay then. What's the best thing to read in the woods? Poetry. Do you get it? Poetry. Okay. What's a car's favourite genre of book? Autobiography. Auto? Okay. It's only me that likes my jokes. If you think you can do any better, send me some different ones in. So, now I'm going to read you a poem written by Alfred Noyes called The Highwayman. It's a ballad poem and tells us a story. It's been animated and set to music in the past, and the links for these, for you to listen to if you want, will be in the drop down box underneath the video. This poem was written and published in 1906. That's 114 years ago, and it became very, very popular at the time. Alfred lived on the edge of a heath or a moor and got the idea for the first few lines after one wild stormy night. The main themes in the poem are romance and jealousy, a little bit like Romeo and Juliet, and just like that play, it turns out to have a tragic ending as well. The poem is set at the time of King George III, when roads were dangerous to travel on, as you might be held up by a highwayman yelling, "Stand and deliver!" Highwaymen robbed travellers along the roads, and the king's soldiers would try to capture them and bring them to justice. This poem, though, makes the highwaymen sound like a romantic figure. They weren't really. They were really quite mean and quite rough and tough. Alfred Noyes, when he wrote the poem, he created atmosphere. So, as you listen to the poem, I want you to listen out for these features that the poet has used to tell the story and create that atmosphere. So the first thing is alliteration. Can you remember where words begin with the same letter? Another device he's used is rhyming. Listen for words that rhyme or sound the same, usually at the end of the line or at the sentence, like trees and seas. The other thing is descriptive language. The words that the poet has used describe things, to describe people or describe settings. Words that help to paint that picture in your head. So, gusty trees that help us to see trees that are waving about in the wind. And the road described as a ribbon of moonlight, so that the road is waving like a ribbon. Okay? Another device is repetition, where words or phrases are repeated for effect. So in the poem you'll hear, the highwaymen came riding, riding, riding. So, and there are other examples of that as well. Right, to read the poem. But I think I need to be dressed more appropriately, don't I? Wait a minute. How about this? Cookie! No, not really. This one? No, I agree. Not really suitable. Wait a minute. That's better. I was going to wear my mask, but then I realised that without my glasses, I can't see to read. So I'll not wear that. Right, so we're going to read part 1 of the poem, and this is on your skill sheet homework as well. Right, The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes. The wind was a torrent of darkness among the gusty trees. The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas. The road was a ribbon of moonlight across the purple moor, and the highwayman came riding, riding, riding. the highwayman came riding up to the old inn door. He'd a French cocked hat on his forehead, with a bunch of lace at his chin. He wore a coat of claret velvet, and breeches of brown doe skin. They fitted with ne'er a wrinkle, his boots were up to the thigh, and he rode with a jewelled twinkle. His rapier hilts a twinkle, his pistol butts a twinkle, under the jewelled sky. Over the cobbles he clattered, and clashed in the dark inn yard. He tapped with his whip at the shutters, but all was locked and barred. He whistled a tune in the moonlight, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair. And dark in the dark old inn yard, a stable wicket creaked, where Tim the ostler listened. His face was white and peaked. His eyes were hollows of madness, his hair like mouldy hay. But he loved the landlord's daughter, the landlord's red-lipped daughter. Dumb as a dog he listened, and he heard the robber say, "One kiss, my bonny sweetheart, I'm after a prize tonight, but I shall be back with the yellow gold before the morning light. Yet if they press me sharply and harry me through the day, then look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way." He rose upright in the stirrups, he scarce could reach her hand, but she loosed her ere the casement. His face burnt like a brand, as the black cascade of perfume came tumbling over his breast, and he kissed its waves in the moonlight. Oh, sweet black waves in the moonlight. Then he tugged at his reins in the moonlight, and galloped away to the west. So that was just the first part of the poem. Did the words paint pictures in your head? What do you think might happen next? How does Tim the ostler feel seeing Bess with the highwayman? If you want to hear the whole of the poem, so part 2, then the links, as I've said before, are available in the drop down box under the video. Wait a minute. Right, that's better again. So, after listening to the poem, I want you to think about the highwayman. And this is what I'd like you to do. The most famous highwayman at the time was called Dick Turpin. I'd like you to use the internet or books, whatever, to try and find out about him and what he did, and then write me a little bit of a fact file about him. Try and get at least 5 facts, like where he was born, where he died, what he did, how he was caught, that kind of thing. You might like to draw a picture of him too. Think about how he was described in the poem and the type of clothes that I was wearing when I read the poem. No, not the gorilla or the Cookie Monster, the highwayman. If you like, you could send your work to the email on the screen at the end. So, keep well, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again. Bye!